Hello students, welcome to NCRT class 8 Geography, Chapter 3, Agriculture. We are going to discuss about theory and questions and answers. Introduction. Transformation from plant to product involves primary, extraction, secondary, processing and tertiary services economic activities. Agriculture is a primary activity with 50% globally and two-thirds of India's populations engaged. Favorable soil and climate are crucial for agriculture, and arable land is where crops grow concentrated in regions with suitable factors. So let's go through what are the key points. Farmer tilling land, growing wheat with added manure. Economic activities, primary, secondary and tertiary activities involved. Agriculture, primary activity, 50% of global engagement, two-thirds in India. Favorable soil and climate, vital for agriculture. Arable land concentrates agricultural activity globally. Farm system. Agriculture is viewed as a system with key inputs as seeds, fertilizers, machinery and labor. Operations include plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding and harvesting. And the outputs consist of crops, wool and dairy or poultry products. Let's see what are the input, process and output for agriculture. So the inputs are as shown in the figure, it's tractor, seeds and chemicals. Process involves plowing and spraying and the output is crops. Let's see two types of inputs. One is physical inputs, which is the rainfall, slope, soil, sunshine and temperature, and the human inputs such as store, machinery, labor and chemical. So these are the different types of inputs which are required for agriculture. Let's go through the types of farming. So first one is subsistence farming. So what is intensive subsistence agriculture? So it includes small plots, simple tools and high labor, multiple annual crops like rice, wheat and maize, then prevalent in densely populated monsoon regions like South, Southeast, East Asia. Now the second one is primitive subsistence agriculture. So it includes shifting cultivation. In Amazon, tropical Africa, Southeast Asia and Northeast India, this process is followed. It is done by clearing land, by burning, planting crops like maize, yam, potatoes, moving after soil depletion. This is also known as slash and burn. The next one is nomadic herding. In semi-arid or arid regions like Sahara, Central Asia, Rajasthan and Jammu Kashmir, this process is followed. Herdsmen move for fodder and water with sheep, camel, yak and goats. It provides milk, meat, wool, hides, etc. Let's go through commercial farming. So the first one is commercial grain farming. This is used for large-scale cultivation for sale in markets. It emphasizes on wheat and maize production. It is practiced in temperature grasslands of North America, Europe and Asia. The next one is mixed farming. It combines food, fodder, crops and livestock. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand and South Africa. Plantation agriculture. It involves single crops like tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana and cotton. It requires significant labor and capital. It is found in the tropical regions like rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India and Sri Lanka. Let's see what are the major crops. So the first one are the food crops. It contains wheat, rice, maize and millets. The second one is fiber crops. So it involves jute and cotton. The third one is beverage crops, which includes tea and coffee. Rice. This is the staple diet in tropical and subtropical regions. It is grown in alluvial soil with high temperature, humidity and rainfall. The leading producers are China, India, Japan, Sri Lanka and Egypt. Then wheat. It requires moderate temperature rainfall during the growing season and bright sunshine at harvest. It thrives in well-drained, loamy soil. It is grown extensively in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia and India. Millets. This is also known as coarse grains, grown on less fertile and sandy soils. This is hardy crop requiring low rainfall and high to moderate temperature. It is grown in the countries like India, Nigeria, China and Niger. The next one is maize. It requires moderate temperature, rainfall and ample sunshine. It is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India and Mexico. Coffee. It requires warm and wet climate, well-drained loamy soil. It is grown on hill slopes. The leading producers are Brazil, Colombia and India. Tea. This is a beverage crop grown on plantations. It requires cool climate, well-distributed high rainfall throughout the year. It grows on well-drained loamy soils with gentle slopes. The leading producers are Kenya, India, China and Sri Lanka. Agricultural development. So this is the efforts to increase farm production for the growing population. This is achieved by increasing crop area, variety of crops, improving irrigation using fertilizers and high yield seeds. Mechanization is a crucial aspect of agricultural development. The ultimate goal is to enhance the food security through agricultural development. The developing countries practice intensive agriculture on small holdings, mostly for their subsistence. Key aspects of agricultural development. The first one is increase in cropped area, which is done by expansion of agricultural land. Diversification of crops, which is done by growing a variety of crops. Then improved irrigation, which is enhanced by water supply for the crops. Use of fertilizers for the soil enrichment. Then adoption of seeds with higher productivity. Then mechanization, introduction of machinery for efficient farming. The ultimate goal is to enhance the food security to meet the demands of a growing population. Comparison of farming in India versus US. First one, farm size. In India, smaller holdings, intensive agriculture. In USA, larger holdings, commercial agriculture. Next one is crop diversity. In India, varied crops, subsistence and market oriented. But in US, it is specialized for high yield commercial crops. Agricultural practices. So in India, it involves manual and traditional methods, whereas in US, it is mechanized and technologically advanced. The next one is irrigation. It involves varied methods including traditional and modern methods, whereas in US it is advanced systems like drip and pivot irrigation. Technology adoption. Gradual adoption of modern technologies. but in US it is extensive use of advanced technology. Crop output, diverse output combining subsistence and market crops, but in US it is specialized production for global markets. Land tenure, this is mix of smallholder farms and larger estates. In US, it is larger farms often owned by individuals or corporations. Government support, various schemes and subsidies for smallholder farmers. In US, it is established agricultural policies and subsidies. Challenges, land fragmentation, monsoon reliance and limited technology. In US, agribusiness consolidation and environmental concerns. Now, agriculture system. In India, it is diverse, traditional and modern local food emphasis. In US, it is commercial, efficient and technologically advanced. Let's go through NCRT Class 8 Geography Chapter 3 Questions and Answers. Question number 1. Answer the following questions. First one, what is agriculture? Agriculture involves cultivating crops, vegetables, fruits, flowers, and raising livestock. It is categorized as an activity directly linked to the extraction and production of natural resources. Name the factors influencing agriculture. The factors influencing agriculture include soil, climate, topography, population, water availability, technology, and agricultural practices. What is shifting cultivation? What are its disadvantages? Definition: traditional method involving clearing, burning, and rotating agricultural plots. Then disadvantages are deforestation and biodiversity loss, soil erosion and degradation, greenhouse gas emissions, unsustainability with population growth, conflict with conservation efforts, and loss of habitat for wildlife. What is plantation agriculture? This is large-scale commercial farming where a single crop is grown for sale, typically on a large estate or plantation. What is the characteristics? Focus on cash crops like tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane or cotton. Extensive use of labor and capital are needed. Often involves processing on-site or in nearby factories. It requires a well-developed transport network. It is common in tropical regions. For example, tea plantations in India, coffee plantations in Brazil, rubber plantations in Malaysia. Name the fiber crops and name the climatic conditions required for their growth. The two fiber crops are cotton and jute. So first one, cotton. The climatic conditions are high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days, bright sunshine. For jute, the climatic conditions are high temperature, heavy rainfall, humid climate and tropical areas. Question number 2. Take the correct answer. First one, horticulture means growing of fruits and vegetables. Golden fiber refers to jute. Leading producers of coffee is Brazil. Question number 3. Give regions. In India, agriculture is a primary activity. Agriculture is primary in India due to fertile land supporting 2/3 of population. High dependence arises from low literacy, necessitating extensive food production to meet the needs of densely populated country. Different crops are grown in different regions. The crop cultivation varies by region, influenced by factors like soil topography, demand, climate, rainfall, technology, and labor availability, determining the suitability for a specific crops in different areas. Question number 4. Distinguish between the following. First one, primary activities and tertiary activities. Primary activities. It involves the extraction and production of natural resources directly from the environment. For example, agriculture, mining, fishing, and forestry. Tertiary activities. It encompasses services that support primary and secondary activities, contributing to the overall economy. For example, trade, banking, education, and healthcare. Now, what are the distinguishing points? First one is nature. Primary activities involve direct resource extraction, while tertiary activities provide supportive services. Focus. Primary activities deal with raw materials, while tertiary activities focus on service and facilitating functions. Dependency. Primary activities are more dependent on natural resources, while tertiary activities rely on skilled human resources and technology. Role in economy. Primary activities contribute to the initial production, while tertiary activities contribute to the overall economic development. Subsistence farming and intensive farming. First one, subsistence farming. Purpose. This is primarily for farmers' own consumption and to meet the need of the family. It is small scale, focusing on self-sufficiency rather than surplus for sale. It is often traditional methods and low use of modern technology. The output is mainly for personal use with limited surplus for trade. It relies heavily on family labor and simple tools. For example, shifting cultivation, primitive subsistence farming. Intensive farming. The purpose is aimed at producing a surplus for sale and commercial purposes. It is larger in scale, often involving specialized and commercial production. It uses high use of modern methods, machinery, and technology. It focuses on maximizing yield for market sale rather than personal consumption. It utilizes modern machinery and sometimes hired labor. The examples are commercial grain farming, commercial horticulture. Now the distinguishing points. Goal. Subsistence farming is for personal sustenance, while intensive farming is profit oriented. Scale of production. Subsistence farming is smaller in scale and intensive farming involves large scale production. Technology use. Subsistence farming relies on traditional methods while intensive farming employs modern technology. Market orientation. Subsistence farming produces mainly for personal use while intensive farming targets the market for surplus production. This completes NCRT class at Geography Chapter 3. We will continue in the next class.